Okay then, welcome to the BFOD squad. Oh, let me get the gum out of my mouth. Okay. So, welcome back to Barrelful of Daryl, Season 2, Episode 3, where I gladly discuss music, movies, provide some mirth, and some other funky ass shit. Hope all is well with you, each and every one of you. So last week I posed a mystery lyric. You got me running, going out of my mind. You got me thinking that I'm wasting my time. Oh, that's from the song Don't Bring Me Down by the Electric Light Orchestra, or ELO. Now, Kinsey defines this song as disco, and I guess he's right about that. Anywho, here's a mystery movie line for you. Go ahead, make my day. That's an oldie but a goodie. Talk about that next week. Yeah. Okay, music. ELO, Electric Light Orchestra. Yeah. Are you familiar? I hope so, at least with a song or two. So they are an English rock band formed in 1970 by Jeff Lynne, Roy Wood, and Bev Bevan. Now, you may recall I previously discussed Jeff Lynne as a member of the Traveling Wilburys. So he's the frontman for ELO. He arranges and produces each album and also writes nearly all of the songs. So their music is odd. It's not odd. It's great, but it's unique. That's a good word, unique. It blends rock music with classical arrangements. Basically, they add orchestration to their rock songs. Now, this may seem odd or unique, but damn, it works. Who in the hell thinks, hey, let's add some classical arrangements to these great rock songs? Well, Jeff Lynne thinks that, and he did it. Now, although there were many changes in the band's lineup, they released 15 studio albums, 7 live albums, 40 compilation albums, 13 video albums, 33 music videos, 1 soundtrack album, and 8 box sets. Ooh, I'm going to take a breath here. They sold over 50 million records worldwide. Wow. A shout out to Kinsey here, my producer. Their 9th studio album, titled Discovery, was released in 1979 and is in fact a disco album. Now, many episodes ago, I announced that I would discuss the disco genre, but then I quickly said, just kidding, disco sucks. Well, Kinsey got on to me for this because he is a disco fan. And he asked if I liked ELO, and of course I said yes. And he laughed and said, aha, disco music. I died a little on the inside. Now, their second album, ELO 2, contains an 8-minute song titled Roll Over Beethoven, with credits to Chuck Berry and Ludwig van Beethoven. I don't know if you know Chuck Berry. Oh man, he was very influential in the 60s and 70s. Great guitarist. But he wrote Roll Over Beethoven, as well as many other hits. Now, the 8-minute song, Roll Over Beethoven, It's got a ton of orchestration, and it is amazing. And it really is a showcase for the band's musical style. Now, you may be familiar with some of their other hits, such as Evil Woman, Strange Magic, Living Thing, Do Ya, Don't Bring Me Down, and of course, Mr. Blue Sky. But I'll tell you that every single released from 1972 to 1983 is great as well. A lot of great songs. Now, they also released albums and singles from 1986 until 2010, but not as successful as their early area. There were a couple of breakups along the way, and Jeff Lynne would come back and they'd do something else, and they'd break up again, and Jeff Lynne would come back, and now he's got a band called Jeff Lynne's ELO. And I think that he still tours. He still plays. I think some of their footage is on YouTube. Well, they were elected to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2017, deservedly so. So take a listen to the songs I've dropped on the playlist. I'm sure you'll enjoy them. By the way, are you guys able to access the season 2 playlist? I'm a little bit worried about that. If you're having trouble, please let me know. I think I set it up right, but you know me. And now a word from our sponsor. I'll be right back. Hi, my name is Robbie Ray Simpleton, and I'm a teenage entrepreneur here in Scratch Ankle, Alabama. I got all kinds of ideas for inventions and making money. And one of these days, I'm going to move to the big city, maybe Monroeville or even Pensacola, Florida, because they got pretty beaches and even prettier girls down there. Y'all may have heard about the raccoon problems that we had here a while back, them being rabid and such. Well, at night time, I would sneak over to the big stack of dead raccoons and steal one or two. I took to skinning them so I could make some coon skin hats. It wasn't easy, but I was getting it done until my daddy caught me. He told me even though them raccoons was dead, the rabies inside of them might still be alive. And I explained to him I was wearing my Christmas mittens for protection, but he wasn't too happy about that either. Well, he took me to see Doc McDonald and get tested, and the results were negative. I'm not sure if that's good or bad, but my daddy seemed satisfied. Well, I guess I'll get back to work. I'm trying to mate a rabbit and a squirrel. I hope to get lucky, and I'll have the world's first squabbit. I'll keep you posted on that. Bye for now. And we're back. Movie. Hell or High Water. Yeah, that's a movie. It's released in 2016. It's a neo-Western crime drama directed by David Mackenzie and written by Taylor Sheridan. Now, you'll probably recall that I discussed another movie written by Taylor Sheridan, Wind River. Yeah, good movie too. A Hell or High Water is the second film in Taylor's American Frontier trilogy, with the first being Sicario. Now, the setting is present day in West Texas. Chris Pine and Ben Foster play two brothers who turn to bank robbing to save the family ranch. So Jeff Bridges and Gil Birmingham are Texas Rangers pursuing them. Now, this film garnered 4 Oscar nods for Best Picture, Best Supporting Actor, Best Original Screenplay, and Best Editing. The American Film Institute placed it in their top 10 movies for that year. Also, it's got a 97% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. 97%. I would put it at my top 25 if I had a top 25. So here's how it goes. Brothers Toby and Tanner carry out well-planned bank robberies. But Tanner is an ex-con with a rowdy nature, and he takes unnecessary risks. Now, their mother has died after a prolonged illness, and the ranch has a reverse mortgage that needs to be settled by the end of the week, or they lose the ranch. And also, oil has been discovered on the ranch, so I'm sure the banks wanted to go into foreclosure. But the brothers are determined to provide a comfortable life for Toby's ex-wife and his 2 sons. Now, after several robberies, the brothers take their winnings to an Indian casino in Oklahoma, out of state, where they launder the money, and with their air quotes winnings, they get a check to be paid to Texas Midlands Bank, the mortgager. Oh, by the way, for each bank robbery, they buy a cheap used car, and after the robbery, they bury each car at the ranch. Genius. So the Texas Rangers, Marcus and Alberto, get assigned to the case. Ranger Marcus, played by Jeff Bridges, is close to retirement, so he has a lot of wisdom and expertise, and he figures out the robbers' methods and personalities. He also figures out which bank they will hit next, and boom, they head that way. Now, the brothers have already arrived at this bank, which is surprisingly very crowded. I mean, lines of people, due to the farmers getting their monthly checks. But the brothers decide, we're in a pinch here. We're going to go ahead and go through with it. And Tanner happens to kill a security guard and an armed civilian. Sorry about that. Now, while running out of the bank, Toby gets shot in the back, and he's bleeding heavily, but it is non-lethal. Now, when they get out of the bank, there's a heavily armed posse waiting on them, and they open fire. Okay, be warned. Spoilers ahead. Spoilers ahead. Now, brothers make it to their truck and head out of town with the posse giving chase. On a country road, Tanner stops the truck, opens fire on the posse with an automatic rifle. And the posse, they basically say, fuck this, and they leave. Now, the brothers come up on another car that they had left waiting on them, and they split up, with Tanner driving ahead and Toby diverting off to the casino. Now, Tanner is quickly tailed by the Texas Rangers and a few police. So Tanner goes off-road, eventually abandons the truck and scrambles up an embankment, top of a little hill there, where he proceeds to shoot at the cops and the Rangers, and he kills Alberto. Yeah, Marcus is livid. So Marcus backtracks around and comes up behind Tanner and shoots him in the head. Dead. Meanwhile, Toby managed to clear a police checkpoint, and he makes it to the casino to launder the last stolen money. He takes the check to the bank just in time to avoid the foreclosure, and he secures a deed to the property. Now, later on, during retirement, Ranger Marcus, he's persistent and he continues his investigation. And he assures himself that Toby was his brother's accomplice. So Marcus drives to Toby's ranch, where they have a bit of a standoff. Yes, it's not a friendly meeting. But then Toby's family shows up. So Marcus leaves, and Toby suggests that they meet in order to finish their conversation. In other words, one of them will kill the other. And that's it. Very good movie. It's now streaming on Netflix. So treat yourself, give it a watch. Now, if you haven't already, I also suggest that you watch the movie Sicario and Wind River, the trilogy. Tell them Daryl sent you. Okay, word of the week. Solipsistic. 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 Yeah, it's not easy to say. Solipsistic. I've been practicing. It's an adjective describing a philosophical theory or an intensely egocentric attitude where only one's own mind, consciousness, or self is known to exist. It implies a total disregard for external reality and other people's perspective, often viewing the world as a personal creation or simulation. I guess since it's a word, there are people out there like that, I only know my own mind, so everything outside of my mind, I disregard it. You're a creation or a simulation outside of my mind. Now, the foundation of this philosophy is it rests on the idea that knowledge is limited to personal experience or sensory data, and that the only certainty is one's own existence. As argued by Descartes, cognito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. Now, my son Jake, he had a few quips on his Facebook page. He wasn't big for social media, and he's a funny guy though. One of his quips was, "The crows are calling my name," thought Caw. And another one was, "Is it solipsistic in here, or is it just me?" Yeah, he had a good sense of humor. Wonder where he got it from. Joke of the week. I want to die in my sleep like my grandfather did, not crying and screaming like everyone else in the car. Hope you like that one. Question of the week. Now, last week, my question was, it takes two to tango, but how many to form a conga line? Well, per social conventions, the minimum is 3 people. So I guess 2 people, that apparently does not meet the intent of a line. Certainly, nor does 1 person. Besides, if there are only 2 people, you and somebody else, there's probably much better things you can do than do a conga dance. Now, the longest conga line had about 120,000 people, and this was done in Miami in 1988. God, how do they get that many people together? New question of the week. A man fell off of a 50-foot ladder, but he did not get hurt at all. How is this possible? We'll discuss that next time, okay? Thought of the week. Your car keys have traveled further than your car. Think about it. So don't forget about the BFOD playlist I got hanging out there. Hope you're enjoying it. Again, let me know if you're having issues getting into the season 2 playlist. You can contact me by clicking on the send me a text button in the episodes or directly by email at bfodpodcast@gmail.com. Love to hear from you. Thank you for listening. If you're really enjoying the show, I mean really, 2 reallys, don't forget that you can support the show. Just throw a couple of dollars a month my way, and I can continue on if I need to rent a movie, So that's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. And again, thank you for listening. Each and every one of you. I appreciate it. And I will talk to you next time. Bye for now.